Now we talk about different objects, pressure control equipment. It consists of many barriers. The barrier is called of this name because it prevents fluid leakage at surface. For example, coil tube goes in here, back there, to injector head, to gooseneck, to reel. Note that injector head is mounted directly above stripper. Okay? So, here coil tube. What prevents leak between coil tube and the surrounding environment? This element, it's called stripper, and we will illustrate it with photos. So stripper is the first or primary barrier of coil tube. So if this primary barrier failed, we got to secondary barrier of coil tube. Here, quad BOP. It has blind ram, shear ram, slip ram, pipe ram. We close the pipe ram to seal around the coil tube and fix the leak here. Then back to normal operation. So what if this barrier also leaked, or the leak occurs here between these two flanges? We can close this barrier, which is pipe slip, or if we only have shear steel ram, we will shear the coil tube to secure the oil. So these are the barriers of the oil. Primary barrier, stripper, secondary barrier, BOP, and tertiary barrier, shear seal ram. Stripper has 4 types: conventional, side door stripper, tandem stripper, radial stripper. The conventional nowadays was not used too much because it is difficult to change stripper elements with coil through the stripper. But it has one advantage, that it is wellbore assisted. Wellbore assisted means that if wellbore pressure increases, the sealing around the coil tube increases. This is the advantage of conventional stripper. The most widely used stripper is side door stripper. This one. Side door stripper is very easy to change stripper in it. We easily open the door, retract the piston, and change stripper, then back, then close the piston, and so on. If we want to have 2 side door stripper above each other, we may nibble up this side door stripper above this stripper. So the stripper is called tandem stripper, as it is used in conjunction with another stripper. So if we mount this above this, we have 2 side door strippers above each other, which is called tandem stripper. Okay, and if we have tandem stripper, we always use upper power. So if we mount this above this, we will operate on this one and retract this one. So if a leak occurs above this one, we close this one and repair this one, the above one. Finally, we have radial stripper. Radial stripper, it allows us to have a short stack, especially in offshore, because offshore has limitations of height. So it allows us to have short stack of equipment. It also allows tools external offset to pass through it, because backing element can be retracted to access full bore. So the stripper is our primary barrier. It allows seal around coil tube, not inside coil tube. It allows seal around the coil tube in static and dynamic positions. The closing and opening mechanism of this stripper is we pump pressure, hydraulic oil, from there it goes from this port, pushing against this piston, so it compresses this pink. The pink is stripping element. Here is the real picture of it. It consists of 2 halves, separate 2 halves, and it deforms to form a seal around the coil tube. If we pump hydraulic oil with pressure from this direction, it will push against this cylinder and retract the piston, so releases the pressure from this stripping element. Quad BOP is a secondary barrier of operation, consists of 4 rams, so it's called quad: blind ram, shear ram, slip ram, pipe ram. Blind ram can seen in an empty well with no coil tube in place. Shear ram can shear the coil tube, cut it. Slip ram can close around the coil tube to hold its weight and lock it in place. Pipe ram can close around the coil tube and hold the brush from below. So if you have leak above the BOP, you close the pipe ram. This is schematic view of BOP rams. This is another picture. As you can see, the pipe ram is different from blind ram. Blind ram close with no coil in place. This close in coil in place, so it has a groove to match the coil OD. Slip ram has inserts to grip the coil tube and hold it in place, so you can hang it. This is another picture. This is video. So this if we want to cut the coil tube and hold it in place. This may occur if you have leak of coil tube itself, pinhole in coil tube or bursting of coil tube, so you may use this procedure. You will close the slip ram to hold the coil tube in place. Then you will close pipe ram, see pressure. Then you close the shear ram to cut the coil tube. Then you pull out full 3-4 feet. Then you close the blind ram with no coil tube across it. These are different types of BOP. It can be combi. Combi BOP consists of shear seal ram and the pipe slip ram. Shear seal is a combination of shear ram and seal ram. Slip pipe ram is a combination of slip ram and pipe ram. It may be only shear seal ram, not combi. This is a shear seal ram. As you can see here is the shear blade and the seal face. This is the black rubber. This is inverted ram. This is a slip pipe ram, consists of slip ram and pipe ram, as the name indicates. This is a triple BOP. Triple BOP ram consists of blind shear ram. It combines blind and shear in one ram, and then pipe ram and then slip ram, or it may be reversed, slip ram and pipe